So hello everybody, welcome in this optional part of EMU Prague conference. I would like to thank to the management of this conference that we have the opportunity to share with you some interesting experiences with the new technologies and remote teaching of the music. My name is Petr Krkavec, I'm from company Disk Systems. I will have a presentation about the technology which was developed here in the Czech Republic. And it was designed for remote cooperation of the musician. And after my presentation, my colleague Renate Kreil from the Vienna University and ACOnet from Austria will have also some 10-minute presentation about the activities in Austria which are related to the remote live art performance. So let's start with my presentation. I think that one of the topics which was raised up during the time of the COVID for a lot of teachers and musicians was, it's possible for musicians to play together over the internet in real time. A lot of people try to do it at this time of the COVID with the Teams and Zooms and so on, and they recognize that it doesn't work. Yes, because those platforms was not designed for the musicians, that was for conferencing and communication. Actually, back to my question. Answer on this question is yes. You can play over the internet, you can make interaction between the musician, and you can feel it like you play in real time with someone who is in distance up to 3,000 kilometers. Before I will tell you something about the technology, but I don't go so deep because of technology, because you are mostly the teacher on the music schools, but at least some basic theory that you can understand why this is the different than the Zoom and then the Teams, for example. So I think that if you would like to use some technology for the playing on the long distance, we have to keep in mind some basic physical principle. And of course, some limitation of the human brain. Yeah, because the human brain has some time for recognition that something's going on. And this time is around 30 milliseconds. It means that if something happened below the 30 millisecond time frame, your brain is still thinking that's right now and don't feel any shift in the time. Then the speed of the sound in the air, the sound is quite slow. And in 1 second, speed of the sound is sound is able to fly 343 meters, which you will see later on is quite slow. And the speed of the light, which we need for transmission over the internet, it looks quite big, 300,000 kilometers per second. Practically in the fiber cable, it's 200,000 kilometers per second. It's a limitation of the distance for the cooperation. If I will turn this from the other side, what will happen in 30 milliseconds? Sound will cover in the air 10 meters distance. Light will be able to go through the fiber cable up to distance 6,000 kilometers, and the human brain finally recognizes that something's going on. In the real world, when you have a musician in a studio, in a rehearsal room, or on the stage, which has the size 5 up to 10 meters, the latency between the sound is reaching from a distance from one musician to the other one. It's around 25-30 milliseconds. And it's a standard, it's a normal, and you can play on a distance 5 or 10 meters acoustically, and you don't feel any harming of your feeling. If we would like to achieve the same, but we split the musician from one stage to the 2 stages, and we cross-connect them over the internet, and we will be able to ensure that sound and video will arrive from one side to the other side below the 30 milliseconds. We can simulate the same situation like on one stage. A little bit technical, from technical side, how it works. Here you can see the diagram where we simulate what will happen in 30 milliseconds because of the technical parts of the chain. If you would like to bring the picture, of course you need a camera. Camera has some small latency. The best cameras on the market has around 7 milliseconds. Then you have to encode this audio and video to the digital domain. Then you have to bring it over the internet. And on the 3,000 kilometers, it's around 15 milliseconds. On the other side of the chain, you have to decode it back to the audio and video signal. And then you have to bring it to the screen or to the speaker, and there is an additional latency around 5 milliseconds. But if you have all these components in the right order, and you put this to the chain, then you can achieve this magical 30 millisecond time frame. Yeah, and it means that technologically it can work up to 3,000 kilometers easily, which means for us it's a complete Europe. If you account distance from the Prague, 3,000 around, you can cover completely whole Europe. Yeah, I just put there for an imagination that the distance from Barcelona to Helsinki, it's around 2,600 kilometers, something like that, and it works perfectly. What do you need to have that you can do such kind of the performance or cooperation? Of course, you have to start with a camera. This is first important part of your chain. On the market, there is several cameras from more expensive to this smaller one, which are around €1,000, which is not so big investment. And with those smallest camera, you can achieve the latency from 4 up to 7 milliseconds from the time when the light hit the chip on the camera until you send the signal to the encoding. You can transfer one camera, or if you have serious encoder, you can transfer more cameras from one point to the other point. On the other side, you need to have some screens which are fast. You can't use your standard home TV from your basic setup. You need to have some TV which has also short time to show the incoming signal. But there is plenty of the screens on the market. The smaller screen, as you can see on this picture, there are some gaming monitors. Yeah, and there is a lot of gaming monitors on the market which has really short latency to show incoming signal. And you can even use some big LED walls if you have some big stage. And these walls are also quite fast to fit to this short time. Regarding of the connection between the places, you can even use, just to test if you can connect between different world cities. You can use, for example, this wondernetwork.com webpage, and you can choose different cities, and you can check how is the ping round trip between those places. And if you divide this ping by 2, you will get the time of the one-way latency of your chain. So in this case, it's clear that the cameras are on the markets, screens are on the markets, internet is there, connection is there. Important and critical part of the whole chain are these encoders, decoders. And that's the issue which I would like to explain and tell something about that, because here in Czech Republic, companies Cessnet and Disk in cooperation develop the encoder and decoder. This project was supported by Technological Agency of the Czech Republic. Project was finished 3 years ago, and since this time we were able to get final product which we are already selling, and this product is already used. Because of the name, we start with a name quite pure, technological, modular video transmission platform, which was later on changed because when we cooperate with a musical university across of the Europe, they offered to us to change it to the musical virtual teaching platform. In next slides, you will see why, and I think that this MVTP now with the musical virtual teaching platform, this is the right name for this kind of the product for musician. Physically, the unit for encoding and decoding looks like that. It's a 1U rack mount unit, which was designed for the musicians. It means that it's a completely silent unit. You can use it in the studio, in your classroom, rehearsal room. There is no noise out of the cooling of the system. There are audio inputs. I will show it more in detail. There are the balanced audio inputs and outputs. You have there 8 channels in analog, and you have there video input and output in SDI format. Practical connection in your classroom or the studio or the stage looks like that. It means that you connect the unit to the internet. You connect the camera inside, you connect the screen, that you can see the musician from the other side, and you will take out of your local mixing console 1, 2, up to 8 analog channels, and you connect them to the unit, and you are done. This solution can connect 2 places or even 3 places. It means that you can do the triangle and you can play with the musician from another 2 remote places. And the setup, it's quite easy. You just add additional monitor that you can see another musician. Here is the typical setup, which is used, for example, for band rehearsal. Yeah, you can see that here on one side there is a guitar player with a microphone. On the other side there is the bass guitar, keyboard player, and drummer. Actually, that was one of the setups which I used with my band, because I'm a musician as well, and this technology was tested on the real cases. And I'm physically sitting here in Prague, where is my office and my company studio. That's on this right side. And my bandmates were in the Brno. They are from the Brno area. And they were in the studio in the Brno, and we were able to rehearse. And that was one of the stages when we test the technology, and that we, as the creators, can have a sort of feeling how it works. And yeah, it was working. We did a lot of rehearsals, and I spent a lot of kilometers on the main highway between the Prague and the Brno. So, idea behind of that was to bring solution for the musician, for the live performance, and for the education. I will start with this live performance because 2 years ago, actually maybe 3 years ago, we managed a project with the HAMU in Prague, EMU University and EMU Theater in Brno, and with the university in Zlín. We called that project Art Bridge. And the subject of the project was concert with a main stage in Brno, where was the main stage, and there were the visitor, and from the Prague and from the Zlín we have the contributors and remote musicians. And we tested for the rock band, and we tested for the classical music as well. Here I can show you just a couple pictures. This is the Prague University studio with 1 musician. The second one was in the Zlín. By the way, all these musicians, they are also teachers on basic music school in the Blansko. They were also connected to these projects. And that's me and my band. And we were on the central stage in the Brno. And behind us on big LED walls were these remote guests. It means that for the visitors at the theater, that was looking that everybody is on the stage, but they were a couple 100 kilometers far away. There is just an interesting picture where you can see when I'm standing like a singer in front of the audience. I have on the ground 2 monitors when I can see the musicians from the other side. Yeah, this is. And regarding of the monitoring, we were using the in-ear monitoring. That was quite easy. In this case, the stage was quite nice, empty, and we see what's going on. At the same setup, between the same places, next day we did a concert of the classical music with some quite famous Czech artists who were also teachers on the music university in the Czech, and it was looking something like that. And it was working perfectly the same way. They actually even don't use the in-ear monitoring, they used just the speaker, and it was working from acoustical point of the view, really great way. Regarding of the cooperation with the universities and the teaching, because we saw some potential, and when we finished the products and we discussed with the universities if they can use it and how they can use it. One of the first of the cooperating university who test the technology in real time, and they also deploy this technology to their daily teaching work, was the EMU University, Janáček Academy of Performing Arts in Brno, and Koning Conservatorium Den Haag. Sooner they did some special masterclasses such a way that the musicians or some professor teacher from The Hague have to sit on the airplane, fly to the Brno, spent there one night. Next day he did a 3 hours workshop, then have to go back to the airport and fly back. In this case, this workshop took him 3 days of his life, and practically he used only 3 hours to make a workshop with the students. With this technology, we help them to spare a lot of money for the traveling from one point to the other one. And we were able to achieve latency between The Hague and Brno around 12 milliseconds. It means that was actually musicians were feeling like they are in one room. There is a couple of pictures how it was connected in the studio on the EMU. Here on the left side you can see the teacher and students in Brno, and on the other side you can see the teacher and students in the Hague, and they can communicating with each other, play together, show some special tricks and stuff like that. And what was curious on this kind of the workshop, that they are using historical cembalos there. An idea to bring two cembalos or one historical cembalo from The Hague to Brno, it was quite complicated, but because of this technology and this kind of workshop, they can share and they can hear these instruments in one room without any limitation. And of course, now one have to travel from one side to the other one. And even some next students join this performance live during this workshop was going through. There is still a couple of pictures from the studio. So based on this cooperation, we expand and we did more installations in cooperation with the Intune Alliance. Intune Alliance, it's a society of the 8 European universities who get the money from some European funding to develop and to research how to use new technologies in remote cooperation. And during this research, they use our technology, and the result was that based on their recommendation, we also get more customers and more installation across of the European universities. We also start cooperation with the Global Conservatoire. This is the top 5 leading music universities worldwide. 4 of them, they are in Europe, and one was in Europe, this Manhattan School of Music. And they are using this remote technology for different kind of the courses between the universities. Here just to show the link, because I don't know from which country who is who on this conference. Maybe already in your country, even I think that there were someone today on the conference from Finland, from University of the Arts Helsinki. This university is using this technology more than 1.5 years already. In this case, when we look on current situation across of the European continent, there is more than 21 real users at the universities. Even on the left side, I just put it to the sea, to the ocean. This is just a symbolically that the New York University is using this device as well for connection with the universities which are on the, let's say, these west part of the Europe, where the latency is still, actually it's not 30 milliseconds, because between the, for example, London and New York, the latency, the whole chain is around 45 milliseconds. But as we investigate, this latency is still working for the music which is in tempo up to 145 bits per minute. If you play faster, the effect is that the musicians start to play, for example, a song in 180 bits per minute, but after a while they are slowing down and they end up roughly on 140 bits per minute. But anyway, for a lot of courses and jazz courses and improvisation courses, this limit of the tempo, 140 bits per minute, it's still okay for this intercontinental cooperation. But inside of the Europe, they don't feel any latency. They can play as they want, and they feel like they are on the same stage. So, seeing is believing, hearing is believing. I prepare some videos, some short videos that you can see how way this technology was used in live performances, for the teaching, and some of the other events. Let's take my glasses. So I have there more samples, but I will just choose quite a few of them because we don't have so much time. This is, for example, quite interesting. That was test the two pianos, one in the Prague, second one in Brno. In Prague there is a student, doctoral student, and in Brno there was a professor. And they try to play, let's say, four-hand piece from Dvořák together. I will just show you how it looks, that you can trust me that it works. I hope that we will get a sound. The latency latency between the Prague and Brno was at all around 8-9 milliseconds. They have no any kind of the feeling that they are sitting 200 kilometers far away from each other. Maybe it will be also interesting. That was the connection between Prague and Vilnius. This jazz club at a conference in Vilnius and two musicians in the Prague. So next sample which I have here, I have there more, but I will choose only this quite interesting. That was, let's say, that was 3 years ago, actually 4 years ago. Yeah, that was still in final phase when we developed this device, but we used this device for connection between the Prague and Košice. That was end of the COVID time and the beginning of the war at the Ukraine. And one friend of us, the famous producer in Czech Republic, Petr Krkavec, he managed to organize concert between the Czech and Slovak musician. And they did a charity concert to collect some money for the Ukrainian people who were harmed by the war. This concert was between the Prague Barandov studio and the Košice Fuba culture house, cultural venue. And that was, the musicians played together. There were some visitors in the Prague in the studio, some visitors in the venue in the Slovakia. And the result was mixed, cutted, and real-time streamed to the Facebook. You can see that there was 104,000 viewers for this 2 hours concert. Yeah, and of course there was the charity which was able to collect 12 million crowns during these 2 hours. That was a really amazing event. And I have here some short sample how it was looking in real time.
Zaneseme, Karle, jeď! A když Karel začne hrát, můžete všichni v obou studiích tleskat, pískat, házet. Vším možným. Pojďme! Unikátní záležitost. Výborně, Marian. Pojďme!
that was, I think, quite a unique concert. Then we also did some performances between the Prague and Tears Festival in Italy. Some session between the students in Brno and in Belgrade. And I just would like to show, because I think that a lot of you, you are the directors of the music schools. I can just show you short video how this workshop and communication between the teachers and the students was in case of cooperation between the EMU University and Conservatory in Den Haag.
And I will make accents, so I will make some dynamic shades. And please tell me if at the distance of 1,500 kilometers you can perceive the strong and the weak notes. Just a little test.
Yeah.
Can you hear?
Yeah, of course. We still do it on the piano, by the way.
Okay.
I would like to add to this, because I'm totally convinced. Are we all convinced of this? Is this convincing dynamics? There's a cellist here who is moderately convinced.
I will move it to the
In detail.
end of the session where the musicians play together from both locations. That was just a sample from this from the lesson regarding of the Prague Brno rehearsal. Actually, I will jump it because I will have something better later on for you. Then I have one of the event which was happened 2 months ago. That was a special 30 years anniversary concert for the anniversary of the CESNET organization. It was concert between the London, Amsterdam, and Prague. They played some special classical piece which was composed by, can I ask Sven, who was the author of the music? Ludovico Einaudi, arranged by unique art creations. Yes, Ludovico Einaudi. Yeah, which I think it's a Austrian or German artist. Italian. Oh, sorry, Italian. Oh, okay. Yeah, just I have the two demonstration here, 2 short video. I will choose the video from the iPhone, which is not, let's say, so nice like this professional video, but you can see how the event was looking from point of the view of the visitor. I think that was quite impressive concert. I think that whole performance was something like 40 minutes, something like that. That was really curious. Then I can show you, as I mentioned, this art bridge project. I will make some short demonstration of these videos, but just to have imagination how it was working, I will just move it a little bit forward. So, and I think that I'm almost on time. So, what you would like to see? I have the rock band here, but I think that you believe me that it will work similar way, because I have still one short demonstration that will be again for you, like a teachers, much more interesting. That was a 5-point connection, because with our latest model of the unit, which is calling MVTP 4K, we are able to connect 4 locations. And here I have some short sample from the Global Conservatoire. And that was the course which was held and led by Yaniv Yachum from Amsterdam Conservatory. You will see this 5 combined picture in one picture, and you will see how the teacher is working and how communicating with the students across of the whole continent, even intercontinentally with the colleagues from the Manhattan School of Music.
1, 2. Two, three, bar E, le, re.
Okay, that was a short sample. And the last, but not least one, but the last one for my time, because I'm in the age of my time, was the really special project in Pilsen, where we connected the Pilsen Theatre Orchestra with a stage in Pilsen on the main square. The reason for this kind of the solution was the request of the management of the theatre in Pilsen, because they need to introduce the whole parts of the art departments in their theater. It means the orchestra, musicians, actors, and so on. And they have some limited budget for the big stage, because if they have to place their 2 orchestras on the big stage, it will be more complicated, it will be quite expensive. In the end of the day, they used our technology and they connect the stage with the 2 orchestras in a theater, and they did a performance for 3,000 people. This performance was around 3.5 hours long. There was 100 people perform in the theater, like two symphonic orchestras, and another 150 people, singers and choir and some actors who were performed on the stage. And the orchestra was visually showed on the stage. They have, for synchronicity, they have there on the stage special monitors that all musicians on the stage, they visually see the conductor, which was physically in the theater. In this case, they can play perfectly in the sync. You will see this in this short video, actually, that was shooted on the iPhone. But I think that all these important parts, how this orchestra is communicating with the artist on the stage, will be visible there. See conductor. So here you can see that this technology is quite proven and used in a wide range of the application, and yeah, it's working. It means that you can play over the internet. You can use this technology. You can use this technology for the teaching, and you can prepare a lot of interesting projects. And I think because these basic art schools are also one of the target group where this technology can be used for cooperation between the schools, not only inside the one country, but also across of the European borders and between the European countries. I invite my colleague Renate Kreil from the Vienna, and she will tell you something about her activities in Austria, where they are trying to bring these technologies also to the real life, and they try to bring this also for the music school area as well. I will just prepare your presentation here, and it's yours. Just up and down. Close to the microphone.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. I really feel honored to be here, and I'm so I will show you the way why we already have a concept, why we think music schools, it would be a great chance to interact via a net base and via the internet, and how we can do that. So my name is Renate Kreil. I'm working for ACOnet, which is the Austrian NRENT, National Research and Education Network. Like CESNet, I think I want to mention it because it's really important worldwide. There are so-called NRENTs which connect, which also is, of course, important to know for the music schools, not only like CESNet. They develop low latency technologies. They also offer the networks via them they work. So I am really happy that my boss of the Austrian NREN is really a music lover. That's why I'm here finally. And I heard it because I had the honor to follow the live stream, and I also heard it. We always have to fight for the arts. It's absolutely necessary, and also for the National Research and Education Networks. We fight for years to put it on the agenda because it's about communication. Normally, I always talk about love, but later on. So that's. We always talk about artistic, technical processes. I think it's very important these days not to, also what you saw in these performances before, what Peter described, we have to develop artistic, technical skills in order to simply to become more and to interact in a better way. So our, So that you know that I'm also for a long time work with this topic is, we already started in 2013 with the MDV, University of Music and Performing Arts in Vienna, to experiment with the opportunity to connect artists, musicians, which are on different places in real time. So that was our first really evening performance, we realized. So in 2015, we already made a performance with five venues worldwide. Perhaps I'll show you later a video. And in 2017, we made another performance at Linz-Bruckner House. So in every case, we had a couple of venues together, which were interconnected. And so now I'm a little bit with love. It's about, it's important to know it's conquering physical and digital stages and spaces. It's not, we are not, it's really something which is physical as well as in the net. And in our experience, and where we are big teams, it is possible. And the picture I show, it's a venue in Barcelona. It's in a church, and this church belongs to is an event location to the Museum of Modern Art in Barcelona. It was in 2015, and so we connected this. We really always try to strengthen the borders in realizing our project, and also that we can learn something and we can also fail sometimes in order to learn and to make research which eventually could be later sensible. So when I talk about artistic technical processes, you always have to involve the system administrators, musicians, dancers, choreographers, so the team has really to interact in order to realize these projects. And also talking about the young audience, we also made interactive projects with extended realities, dance projects with virtual reality, and this is a project between MDW, University of Music and Performing Arts Vienna, as well of the Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznan, and as well of PSNC, which is like CESNet or like ACOnet, the Polish National Research and Education Network, which has a science lab, and they really can create a lot. And it was also, music schools was, Peter already said it before, in our meetings, we have yearly meetings called Network Performing Arts Production Workshops. One time they're in Europe, one time they're in the United States. And I show you this photo because this is a colleague from Norway, and they also try to create a network and for the music schools in Norway. On the right side, on the left side from you, it's a colleague from Iceland. They are also very interested to think about connected music schools for other reasons, not only because of the distance, but sometimes the volcano explodes and then the streets are cut, as well as the far I know, it could be a problem because they don't have enough teacher. So, yeah, here I also show you some pictures about how to interconnect. Peter already showed it. And also that what I want to say is it's because it also was mentioned in one of the performance presentations today. In our idea was it was not so important talented, untalented, or inclusive. This one is a picture. It's also about theater. You can, a colleague of mine, Tom, from England, he has had a project with Finland, I think. And if you see the video, it's really deepening, and the emotions were great with the kids. So sometimes you can rehearse and then you meet each other. So you can do what you want finally. So in this case, I think they also, once in a while, they met each other. And there is an absolutely lovely video about it, how it shaped the kids and how it changed their life, really. And it was for sure possible because a lot of the rehearsals could be done via the net. So I come to the concept, which it's extended play spaces, and it's already around 2 years. And I took, I lent a photo from Michaela Hans. We already talked about it quite a while, and I think it's what it could bring such a beside the technical stuff, it's really a commitment you need, and you have to believe that you will have fun. And if you make such a project, that I really can promise, by all the pain you have, sometimes it's heaven if it's working. And like my colleague Peter said it, meanwhile we have the technologies, that we have a wonderful opportunity that it will work and that we will be successful. Because after COVID, many people were tired of it. I think now, as some time went by, things changed, and it could be a new attempt to perhaps for a pilot project, for example. So finally, so the idea is we is a team I worked with, all these projects I told you, sound engineers, system administrators, musicians, musicians with acoustic instruments and electronic instruments. So we once sit together since 2 years, 3 years ago, and we thought the greatest thing could be if music schools who have the opportunity and also the decision to install rooms which are equipped with standardized technology. So, for example, 3 music schools which have a certain which have the opportunity as well. The rooms, for example, are dedicated to the dedicate one room, which is which the environment is really technically really well equipped. And if we talk about 3 music schools, so every of these 3 connecting music schools have the same equipment and the same about microphones. And so the idea is to find 3, 4 schools, whatever, who have the opportunity to have these rooms, so that the children, the students have permanently, with a person who knows about this equipment, the opportunity to also to play with it, with the instruments and according to the technology. Yeah, we already also together with Michaela Halle, we made already a question for at the Ministry for Art and Culture. We also asked for money as well. We had 2 other music schools in Austria, and we made a concept for Culture Capital 2024. We were at the last 3 ones, and finally it was not the spirit there, and perhaps we can do it another time. So yeah, so the idea is, the important thing is, and it's not only about the technology. I think we have the technology, but then we would have to have a person who is really responsible for that, who is really accompanying the situation. Otherwise, it's really good for nothing. And I know it from colleagues who already tried it in other countries. So it will not help. That is also a commitment and necessary if somebody is thinking about this opportunity. And I'm convinced that children, the youngsters, would love it. And like Michaela said before, in Austria we have the opportunity. There are fantastic musicians which are really successful and as well educate in the music schools, and also have these artistic, technical skills. Yeah, so in our idea was simply to make workshops, to offer music schools as well, and Europe. Then I'm with Peter, the opportunity to develop such a project, and it could be, and that's why I'm here. And perhaps there is an impulse to make a small pilot project and simply try it. Either it's music, or it's dance, or it's theater. It's about the performing arts and music, and the interacting thing of it. And yeah, so I took my chance, and I think my time is over. And what I over and again, like a mantra, and you can look at our website, NetACC, so I'm the project manager of it. Please document everything what you do and what it costs, because especially in this net-based art stuff, it's really important to every cable, whatever you use, documentation. That's why I said it to Peter before, standing here, because we documented everything. So that makes transparency also for the mayor, for the politicians. Write it down, show it, because it really then shows you, make it transparent and people can understand it. And I think it's one of the most important things to do. So, yeah, right. Yeah, and again, it's always about, in this case, art, technology, imagination. I think it would be a great thing for young students to have such spaces where they have time, where they can rehearse and experiment, make mistakes, and perhaps also think about and understand what is KI-generated music and what is the difference if you don't do it or you use it in a certain way. I think it's education. It's also an educational project, not only because in music education, but as well to deal with technology. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm very happy to be here, and also that I could listen to your thoughts via the live stream. And if you like, I play a video finally. It's 4 minutes, and yeah, it's one of the projects I did in 2015, just to show you. And we talk about the interaction between different genres, and it's about media art. So you can already do it, and it's a trailer from the background.
Renate can give you more information. And if you will write this netart.cc, you can go through all these videos. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. Yeah, thanks to Renate for the way to the Prague and for presenting this situation in Austria. And I hope that for you, like visitors of this conference, live or online, this information were helpful, and maybe you will get some ideas how to use this remote technology in your job. And if you want to do it, you can turn to us and we can help you. We can give you the devices for the testing, renting, or if you will have interest for this pilot project, which is prepared right now for Austria, and not only for Austria, but we are searching for another countries and other schools from Europe to join this pilot project. Please talk to us and we will help you to jump into these new technologies. Thank you very much.